You probably already know what the iPod is, but in case you don't, I'll explain it real quick. The iPod was the world's first MP3 music player.
It wasn't.
It was created by Apple in 2001, and basically what it was a hard drive with a screen and a click wheel on the outside, and a headphone jack so that you could listen to the music. The iPod was considered revolutionary. Let's get into the video. I know the main focus of this video is to explain why the iPod is better than modern day streaming, but first just hear me out so that the rest of the video can make sense. To explain why the iPod was so revolutionary, I had this old soundbox I was going to show you from an old snow globe, but I could not find it today, so I'm just going to show you a clip from a different video. So the way the soundbox works is you see these little metal studs on that cylinder? Those studs are spinning around on the cylinder and they're plucking the teeth on this metal comb, which makes the sound. This was the concept of music storage for a long time and lasted all the way up until even CDs. The CD is just like the soundbox. It has its own little set of studs on it, but instead of these studs plucking metal teeth to make sound, a laser is shot down at the metal studs, and the light that gets reflected back is then converted into sound. Then the iPod came along and changed things up. One day in early 2001, a developer at Apple by the name of Tony Fadell was working with Mac computers, hard drives, and when he was looking at these hard drives, he wondered to himself, what if we could put these inside a little handheld device? And that's exactly what he did. A hard drive is much different from a CD. Remember, a CD has all those little studs on it. Instead of physical studs, a hard drive has little devices on it called transistors. A transistor has two states, either on or off. When a transistor is turned on, that represents a 1, and when it's turned off, that represents a 0. This is where the binary code of zeros and ones comes from, and each combination of zeros and ones represents a different pitch of sound. There's a little arm that reaches across the hard drive, kind of like on a record player, which reads and writes the zeros and ones. Because of how much storage can be stored on a hard drive has to spin at a speed of 5200 to 7200 rotations per minute, which is pretty crazy. This super advanced music storage system allowed people to carry 1,000 songs in their pocket, which was Apple's marketing slogan for the iPod. Before the iPod, if you wanted to listen to music on the go, you had to carry around a big CD player along with your CD, which only had probably 15 to 20 songs on it. Just to show you what 1,000 songs looks like on CDs, this is my dad's old CD collection. You got all these CDs. This is probably actually like a couple hundred songs. Imagine 5 of these. So back to the history. With the iPod came iTunes. iTunes, which often gets confused with Apple Music these days, was Apple's official music MP3 file store.
No, it was a store of FLAC files.
The way iTunes worked was you would log onto your computer, plug in your iPod, buy the album, and with a wire transfer the files onto the iPod. You could then create your own playlists, and it would automatically organize all your songs into genres and artists. It might not sound nice at first to have to buy all your music, with an album costing about $10 to $15 and songs costing about $1 each, but those songs were yours forever. Once you owned a song, you could listen to it without internet, wherever you wanted, whenever you wanted, without having to pay for any of those monthly subscriptions.
There are other ways to get music.
No company or streaming service could ever take those songs away from you. Then one day, a new company came along. The name of this company was Spotify. Spotify gave you access to all the music you had ever wanted, and any time at any place. The way it worked was it would pay a certain amount of money to an artist for every 1,000 streams, kind of the way YouTube works. It was founded in Sweden in 2006, but never really got popular until its launch in the United States, when it created a new, free, ad-supported version. And people went crazy for Spotify. Even though it would end up costing people more money in the long run, the small price of $10 a month gave people an irresistible deal. People didn't care about the fact that they didn't own their music, all they cared about was that they could listen to it right now. If you stopped paying that monthly subscription, Spotify could take all those songs away from you by shoving hundreds of ads in your face and not even letting you listen to a specific song that you want to hear.
You can get around that.
Spotify also had a very negative effect on music artists. Imagine you're an author. You spend 2 years of your life working on your 1,000-page masterpiece, and once you're finally done with it, you're so proud of yourself and you get it published. Once it's in all the bookstores, nobody buys it and you're confused. Then you learn that no one these days is actually buying books anymore, but instead they're reading books on a new platform called Bookify, a streaming platform where you can read all the books in the world that you want for a monthly subscription of $10 a month. You would really rather sell the books yourself and make your own money, but as no one is buying the books anymore and the only place people read books anymore is Bookify, you're pretty much forced to put your book on the platform. Then you get a little bit of money every time someone reads your book. This is basically what Spotify did to music artists, who make 4 times less money now that they can't sell their own albums anymore. The iPod is the perfect thing. With the CD, you got to own all the songs you bought forever, but then you had to carry around a big case of CDs with your big CD player. Spotify, on the other end of the spectrum, is the most convenient one, where you get all the songs in the world for a monthly subscription, but those songs can be taken away from you. But the iPod is at the perfect spot right in the middle.
You know, there's other ways.
It's where you can keep it in your pocket and safe keep all the music you buy for the rest of your life.
Who TF buys music?
An iPad has no internet access, so you can just go places and listen to music without bringing your phone.
You can save music to your phone.
The mental effect of having this little handheld device that cannot be hacked is massive.
Blood, just be careful.
I know the iPods have no Bluetooth, but online you can just buy these little $10 transmitters that you plug into the headphone jack that broadcast to your AirPods. But in the end, it's all your choice. I know almost everyone who watches this video is going to keep listening to Spotify and Apple Music, and Amazon Music and Deezer and Pandora and SoundCloud and all these other services, but at least give a moment of silence for the iPod. I know this is more of a commentary sort of video without any actual stuff, but if you guys would like to see me review these iPods, make sure you let me know down in the comments and maybe I'll do it. Make sure you like and subscribe, hit the bell, share, do all that YouTube stuff. And as always, see you in the next one. Peace.
TF is this? End screen.